oyster and you could do with it what you wanted. I just sat back and I was like, for me, it was kind of a real shit show because like when I would ask you guys, I'm like, okay, what do you guys think you're going to do next week? And nobody would tell me. I'm like, I'm going to prep like 6 things and hope I picked one of the things that they're going to go do. So here we go. So it was like sandbox adventures are fun, but they're also a lot of work. And so I, I, I did a lot to try to make sure that this was fluid because that was one of the things that about this thing that I didn't like was there was no fluid connection for like the chapters. It was like, okay, did the party do this? Now they're going to go do this stuff. Well, why would they do that? How are we going to build that? What are we going to create as a connection to move forward? So it was tough. But that said, hey everybody, I think everybody's here right now. Chris said he might join us later, but also may not be able to make because his daughter has a performance tonight. So yeah. I was. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was done. I said, yep.
Oh, it was a yep. It was a one and done with that. All right. So I was just talking with Mike and telling him that some people sent me some thoughts and ideas. Some people sat back and said, I need another reason to hate Tom, so I'm going to see what he wrote. And I think I'm just going to jump into it unless somebody has some questions or comments or anything before I do that. What do you guys?
If I ever need to find a reason to hate Tom, I've got a bingo roller here. I'll just pick one.
So I used to work at like an intelligence fusion center in Massachusetts, and a fusion center is like a collaboration between different law enforcement agencies. And there was this old guy Gus that worked there. Who did we just lose? Oh, we lost TJ. And there was this old guy Gus that worked there who only talked about the same 10 things ever. And so unbeknownst to Gus, we created bingo cards that as he would come in, we would just start checking off what he was talking about. And all of a sudden someone would be like, bingo! And Gus would always look very confused when somebody did it. And the rest of us would have a hearty laugh about it so bingo makes me think of that. But anyways, so as you guys have undoubtedly opened up your Roll20 screens, I have left you on the final screen we were on last week, where this final form, actual form, this Shiva-esque form of Oral appeared before you, gave you some exposition about stuff and things, and basically said, if you're willing to parlay and let me take these things away so that the world doesn't know about them, I'm out. And that's where we left it. And unless you guys want to attempt combat against a fully awakened Oral, I'm going to assume that I can take you off this map and move you somewhere else. But I want to give you options and find out what you want to do.
I'm cool.
I don't need to fight a god.
Well, I mean, you've been doing it. You literally have been doing it.
Right. Well, we needed to then. I don't need to right now. She's not fucking with us. So, I mean, ultimately, I guess it's up to Ziada if he still has she still has a death.
I'm sorry. I started to move. Yeah, Ziada, are you?
I mean, it was something where I didn't realize that was Oral, like Oral herself. I thought it might have been someone else. So it's just like, no, we're good.
Really? That's interesting to me. So you thought it was like another god? You thought it was like, what did you think that form was?
I didn't think it was Oral. I thought Oral was like essentially a mask, which it seems like if this is an awakened Oral, like that Oral was a fragment of the god that she was, and has now essentially been unfragmented, rejoined. So all of her parts have been brought together.
I like the word unfragmented. Kevin, did you think it was the same thing, like a broken god you were fighting, or did you think it was some other entity? I asked because I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was another entity in terms of like just some other entity that was imprisoned, and Oral was using, like Oral wasn't necessarily using her powers or anything, but was like the kind of lock to the key, to the shackles that this other god was locked up with. That was what I was envisioning. I didn't understand that it was specifically Oral.
Interesting.
So she
All right.
she lucked out.
Yeah, I mean, thank God you guys showed up, right? I mean,
Oh,
thank
she lucked
God.
out that I didn't know it was her, because otherwise Ziada would have finished her off after being healed by her.
Kill, kill, kill.
Unbelievable.
You've done enough. Finger of death. You're. So the adventure itself provides like an epilogue with three different ones. One of them is called Year of the Chilled Marrow, and that one is if you guys had opted to do some time traveling, it was an option. Another one is called Winter Everlasting, and that is if you guys lose, because at one point in this game, if you guys hadn't stopped Oral or awakened her, it would have been the end game. It would have been all done. There was nobody else that could have come to save. There was nobody else that could have done anything. But what you guys ended up pulling off was Summer is Coming. And so what you've done is removed the curse that was on the spine of the world. The Frost Maiden and her rock no longer are casting their nightly spells, thus ending the everlasting winter. With, in this case, Oral's departure, normal seasonal weather starts to return to Icewind Dale. The sun again rises above the horizon, and as temperatures improve, flora and fauna begin to recover. Now, depending upon the stuff and things that happened with the Chartleland Dragon, 10 towns are getting better. And I went back and I pulled up the notes about the destruction caused with the battle of the Chartleland Dragon. And currently, Dugan's Hole is utterly wrecked. It's gone.
Hooray!
It's a hole in the ground.
Goodmead.
We got the
Oh.
whole thing.
Goodmead only got the whole world in the palm of my. Anyways, Goodmead suffered mild damage, and the meadery thanks you for that. East Haven suffered catastrophic damage, as did Caer Dineval. The rest of 10 towns, however, were spared the dragon's onslaught. And so these are areas that are in need of updating, of fixing, of problem solving. The characters in this particular epilogue are left to say, it says, the characters can help 10 towners rebuild their settlements in the wake of the dragon's rampage and the floods. Characters who help rebuild 10 towns might be asked to take up the mantle of speaker in one or more of these communities, replacing leaders who were killed or disappeared during the siege. However, you guys chose to focus on Lonelywood, both the people that I wrote endings for and those that wrote endings for me. And so there are 1, 2, 3, 4 people here tonight that can roll me a d20, and whoever gets the highest, I will start with. I'm saving Jux for last just in case he can make it. Oh, Novakri, wow. Way to get the bottom one. So I'm just gonna make a quick
Now's
note.
the time to do it.
Now's the one. Now's the one you go, yes, that's what I wanted.
Hold
So
on, you're right next to me. You can re-roll
Oh.
Well played. Well played. All right, so I've got Harvest, Loki, Ziada, and then Novakri. And then I've got Jux at the end, just in case. All right, so let me find my documentation that tells me what I'm supposed to do with this. We're starting with Harvest. Harvest, we're going to go to Tavern Celebration for some music. So let's do this. Slide that down a bit. And then we'll go over to this. Harvest. Secrets about your past have left you with questions as to the actual story of your lineage. And with more questions about the reality of the stories you took as truth from your mother. Your heroics have led to a certain level of celebrity status, which has also inevitably led to your name being shared in circles that stretch far beyond the borders of 10 towns. After an encounter with an assassin who bore strange webbed markings on her face, and who you and Zahir could not determine just who was her actual target, you start to try and find answers in earnest. This assassin looked like this. You travel north of Lonelywood and speak with the elf mummy Sahnar, I should say. Though loud, "This is my tomb!" He does begin to tell you about the Lords of Neverwinter and how there was a lasting concordance between the forest elves of the Sword Coast and the human leadership of the newly established city of Baldur's Gate. He postulates that it is not unlikely that a parentage of mixed blood isn't beyond the realm of possibility. It was likely a kindness that your mother kept you from the often vicious world of politics and city governance. It is rare, but not unheard of, that offspring from different races will have closer physical and genetic ties and similarities to one parent over the other, potentially explaining the physicalities of your nature. After this revelation, you find yourself lost once again, as your past seems to be made more of fabrications than of solid truths. It is in this state of self-confusion and in searching and self-searching that you start to work with the Church of the Morning Lord in Bryn Shander. The work seemed to give your mind a sense of peace, as it could focus on something other than your past. You learn to speak Draconic, finally. With the end of the Rime and the opening of tradeways, the church was able to find healers who have made the Eye of True Seeing fitted into your empty eye socket. The one catch is that its odd magical natures make your identity that much harder to conceal. And I would just like to pause and show you guys what an arcane eye looks like. Nope, stop that.
It looks
Nope.
so much like an assassin.
It looks
Yeah,
so
I know,
much
right?
like an assassin. Why is
Does
this
she
doing
have an
Watch out,
arcane
you're gonna
eye?
Kill yourself with your eye.
Oh my god, what is happening?
Did you choose the arcane eye? Click somewhere else and then click on
Oh, wait, they both deleted. Okay, let's undo that.
Okay.
Well, how do you undo?
Well, there's Control Z, but I don't know how well that works.
Nope, that doesn't work. So we're gonna do it a different way. Hold on. I don't. That's always weird. They just got rid of each other. Can you guys see that?
Nope.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I
Okay.
see it.
I got it.
Your work with the church has provided some enjoyment, as it has enabled you to work with children who have suffered at the hands of the terrible winter. Bringing smiles to their faces has helped to remind you that smiling is important, and that enjoyment is critical to survival. You've also thrown yourself into business endeavors. You've helped with the tavern in Lonelywood and the ensuing franchising. You've crafted the concept of Lonelywood Brewing, and although there were some initial pushbacks from Roger and the Druids at the Meadery in Goodmead, a few well-timed collaborations has made everyone happy. By far your flagship brew, called Heroes Mead, has raised greater awareness of the brewing potential of the North, and Heroes Mead has become a hit sensation with the openings of roads in and out of 10 towns. The microbrew has started to push outwards and beyond, and there's hope that there may be a craving for it all along the Sword Coast itself. Loki has in fact been very happy with this. You've also worked to centralize a public service law enforcement agency that covers all of 10 towns. They are funded by public taxes called the 10 Town Tax, or the TTT. The whole of 10 Towns no longer has the need to rely on the kindness of heroes to aid its people, as this agency works to prevent and investigate crimes as well as apprehend criminals and any evildoers of which it becomes aware. There are some headaches, as it has tried to provide an intensive focus on preventing all illegal trade, but the firmly entrenched thieves' guilds have provided obstacle after obstacle on these legal actions. You're not entirely sure, but it seems like Loki may actually be thwarting some of these. Regardless, the 10 Town Safety League has made the area one of the safest and happiest places in the realms, on most days. These projects have been a fun way to reinsert yourself into society, and your friends help with the days that are long and or difficult. But you still wonder, perhaps it is time that you should journey back to the woods of your birth. Visit the High Priestess who raised you, if only to try and garner more truths. As you ponder this, steeling your nerves to prepare for what's ahead, a letter arrives at the Church of the Morning Lord. And I am going to put that letter in a private message to you in Discord, and you can read that if you so choose. I take it back. I'm going to try to do that. Let's see if this works, because the last time I tried to do some shit like this, it didn't work. So
I'm gonna burn the letter
Yeah.
in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
all right, there you go. You should have it.
What are the odds that Tom didn't screw this up?
I'm gonna say maybe 20%. Maybe 20%. I didn't screw it up, but
That's a little optimistic, but yeah, okay.
oh, you're such a dick. But thank you. It's true. Harvest, can you open it? Does it work?
Yeah, I'm working on that now.
Okay, cool.
Oh. What?
So do you want to share it, or do you want to just say that you received a letter and that is the end?
I received a letter. Is this
Fuck you guys, you can't know what it means.
Am I to understand that this is written by my mother?
You can understand to read it is written by whoever you want to, and what you want to share.
That's the only person who I would know that would have called me Azrael. So it says it reads, Azrael, life is unfair, and lies always seem necessary when truths are too hard. Your past, my past, your bloodline's history is catching up to all of us, and it will soon eclipse your everything. Apologies are never enough, and vengeance never fills the void, no matter how much blood is spilled. Come home, or home will come find you. We both need you, and need your assistance. With love, to my favorite light in the darkness, F. And it has the symbol that I know to be the symbol from the slave traders or human traffickers that kidnapped myself and my mother, on the bottom of it. So I don't know. I don't know.
I know.
I don't know who this is from.
So it sounds like I'm going to draw you off the map, and I'm going to start on somebody else.
Okay.
Stop this. We'll go to Loki. Start with this. Loki. For a person so well versed in shadows and secrets, celebrity and leadership has treated you well. Your adventures and escapades have paved the path to your mayorship and your probable permanent role on the 10-Town Safety League, an idea created by Harvest and which has received as much public support as the new Lonelywood Brewing Company she has helped create. Your connection to the peoples of this town has made it your home, and it's a home that gives you levels of fulfillment and multiple levels of satisfaction. Nimsy, former mayor, gets the halfling cooking just right, and the town hall itself is built just to your specific height requirements. Iris, aka Iris Cree Harrowhill, the owner of the Happy Scrimshander, is a former spy and your new contact with the Thieves Guild, as your previous one has gone missing. And of course there is Scoop, the little halfling who has become your right hand. He looks up to you like a father and seeks to learn and grow from your tutelage. As mentioned, Iris keeps you apprised of necessary rumors and secrets that help to keep you a few steps ahead of your political rivals and always aware of new means to increase your sizable portfolio. The hotel business has been lucrative, and you and others are working on growing it into a chain across 10 towns and possibly beyond, maybe even down the Sword Coast. New markets means the chance for expansion, well, and as well as new problems. Sure, your moves may be pushing out some long-time legitimate locals, but who can begrudge the saviors of 10 Town? As you sit back one day in your perfectly sized rocking chair, Scoop shouts from the front of the town hall that a package has arrived. He rushes into your office with a larger amount of exuberance than normal, and he practically sings out, "It's another gift from the savior of 10 Town!" Smiling at the title, as it never gets old, you open the box wrapped in fine papers and held with soft, sheer blue ribbons. And as the wrappings fall away, you quickly realize why Scoop was so excited. It's the smell. His nostrils must have picked up on the scent before yours did, but now you are assaulted with the heavenly smells of a halfling delicacy, pumpkin carrot pie. It is intoxicating, and you want to immediately dive in as you re-notice Scoop standing there, mouth watering. But he still needs to learn his place, and you'll likely let him have the second slice. Someday, you anticipate, he'll undoubtedly make a fine rogue or a spellcaster. Scoop, realizing what you're doing, leaves you to enjoy your dessert in the hopes that his self-control will provoke you into sharing, as it has done so in the past. As you literally inhale your treat, a small note falls to the floor. Assuming that it's another gift from a fan, or perhaps a precursor to the dinner Nimsy is preparing, you notice as it falls that it has been written in the finest of calligraphy. And I am going to send you a handout. Where is it? Oh, I gotta go over a little more. There it is. And we're gonna drop this over here and hit this. And you should have a letter.
I did just get a letter.
Is it in the finest of calligraphy?
He's learning.
Or is it Times New
Yeah,
Roman?
that's. Those are just
I chose a different font, assholes. I did good.
It actually is in calligraphy.
Hmm.
Do you wish to
Thank
share
you.
it with the group?
Let's see. To the greatest hero of the North. Well, they got that correct. Neither diminish nor lessen by your halfling stature, your legacy to the small folk can never be doubted nor dwarfed. Please excuse the joke. You are a hero and inspiration to all of the little people of the world. Sincerely, B. Okay. I think there's a-
Insect wrote that to you.
I think it's also a threat at the end here, too.
Oh, well, that's
Zentarum
At the-
will never...
So I tried to block that shit out. Fuck. All right. So at the bottom of the card.
You did block it out. I just happened to move it because I was like, what is this?
Okay. All right. So, however, at the bottom of the card, I'm sorry, at the bottom of the card, it seems to indicate that you should turn it over. And as you turn it over, there is a fingerprint surrounded by a ring that looks like a serpent with wings. As you read this, you suddenly feel like your throat is starting to constrict, and I need you to give me a con save. And as this happens, there is a knock at the front door, and Scoop calls from the other room, "I'll get it, Mayor Loki."
Nice.
24 is 100% a success. But that said, what does the line read at the very bottom, underneath the B with a snake, a winged serpent wrapped around it?
The Zentarum will never stop.
And then give me an intelligence check.
Is it Scoop?
It is
That
not
little bastard.
It's not Scoop. That would be hilarious, but no, it's Scoop.
Well, we'll see what I think. Intelligence just check. Just straight up check.
Yep, straight up intelligence check.
Crazy how much my save is more than the check. I'm going to just do the straight up check.
With an 11, you're starting to grab for your throat as you realize it's starting to collapse. But your sort of intestinal fortitude is enough to overcome whatever this treat was poisoned with. And you remember that the Black Bishop still remains a potential threat to everything you hold dear.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to pause it right there and stop that tavern music. I'm going to look And the next person is Ziada. And Ziada, what did I have for you? I had Blackbird. All right, so we'll do this. Do that. Ziada, you found your place as the rightful leader amongst your people. The bear and the elk tribe have banded together and to your power. With the bear under Gunvald Halgrisson being the first to promise fealty to your leadership. The tiger tribe, however, has remained divided. But with members of the tiger tribe single-handedly avowing to you felling your mother, Bjornhild Solvigsdotter, it's only a matter of time before the whole of the tigers come to respect your authority. Regional politics have become your daily ordeal. And trade with the Ten-Towners is tense, even on the best of days. Still, even in these days, you find happiness in the gift that was given to you upon your return from the Ragged Glacier. A gift in the form of a bear cub, brown, strong, and growing fast. She had belonged to Thoth and had been forlorn since her untimely mother's death. But for whatever reason, the bear cub bonded with you immediately and now won't leave your side. Maybe it was that leather drawing you had kept that maybe had the scent of Thoth on it. Or maybe it was something else. But you and this bear cub are now inseparable. Ziada, what do you think is a good name for this bear cub?
That's what I was just wondering. Did it already have a name, or?
No one knows because Thoth can't speak. Or
That's
couldn't
fair.
speak.
So then, no. Not one that it at least responded to or anything like that. So I would need a bit of time, but my first thought is something based on was it Toth? Why am I not able to find it?
It could have been Toth. I had written down Thoth as a name,
Oh, I'm
but
on my other account. So yeah, I can't find my actual journal. But yeah. So it's gotta be something around there. So I'm like,
you don't. I won't force you to name this animal companion now, but if you had something I wanted to add.
yeah. What was my shit? And unfortunately, like I said, I'm on my other account. Would you happen to have my my savior as a baby? What her name is?
I have no idea what that
Offhand.
means.
The,
Your savior as a baby?
Yeah. Who saved
Somebody
her?
saved her as a baby.
The other bear. Mother bear.
Coda? Wait, are you talking about the bear spirit that like cursed you?
No, that one didn't save me as a baby.
Oh, yes, I do have their name. I'm sorry. Now, yeah, it wasn't a bear. I'm sorry. It wasn't a bear spirit. It was a werebear.
Yes.
Yes, I do have his name, and his name is...
What was that, dude?
It's like Utayug. It is Uya Minarotok. Or I think you just said Uyam.
I'm close.
Wakanga?
Okay, wait. Just so, wait. Before anybody judges me too harsh. Oyamiminarotok. Uya Minotaurok. So if you roll with Uya, that's how you would roll.
Oh yeah, Monoxaware, I get it, yeah.
Ogavigatron.
Anaxuminaroon from, yeah, okay, whatever. So, anyways.
I understand. I had trouble with all the names that they gave me, so
There
No
was some
judgment
names
here.
in this. Yeah, there was some names in this that I'm like, what?
Mm.
It's just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what? By the way, her Ziada's mother's name, Bjornhild, that's pretty easy. Bjornhild. But her last name, Solvigsdottir, is Solvigsdottir. Solvigsdottir. I'm so glad I've been to like Scandinavian countries
Right.
to help with this, because holy shit. However, so Kevin, that like I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but if you wanted to throw something out there for a name, I just figured I'd ask.
Yes, I will be getting something. I just
Alright.
need a minute.
All right. Well, as you work on that, I'll continue. Ziada's main consternation these days, though, is the Wolf Clan. The Rime was exceptionally tough on the reclusive tribe, and as their foodstuffs dwindled, they turned to the only source they could find: cannibalism. This practice spread further and further and further before your victory and dismissal of Oral. And this tribe's proclivity to these heinous practices drew out gnolls from the surrounding glacier and tundra who had been roving throughout the area for many years in the past. Combined, this group of the Wolf Clan and these gnolls had become worshipping a foul deity named Yengur, some sort of demonic gnoll overlord. Rumors indicate to you that their plan is to summon this monstrosity. But trades, demons, gods, foodstuffs, it's never not busy at the spine of the world. I'm going to kick it over to Novakri. I need to figure out, I have to remember what I picked as a song for you.
Carry on, my wayward son.
No, not quite. It's actually called Almost an F. So you choose what you think that means, and then we'll go from there.
Press F to pay respects.
I'll go with almost a fail.
Almost a fail.
How about Survivor?
I'm a survivor. Anyways.
Ooh, Carrie Underwood
Season
has
one.
a good song called Champion.
Mm.
Season 1.
Season 1, bitch. Novakri. You've done it. You've found a way to defeat Oral and save 10 towns. You found a way to survive a dragon attack and a way to survive being infested by slotty tadpoles. Why? Well, that's always been a little hazy. You started this adventure with some ideas, but the more you adventured, the more unlikely they seemed. But there's been one constant. The ring. The one you've held on to, the one you call your winter ring. Deep down, you kind of knew. You've had some nagging doubts that it wasn't actually protecting you.
Yeah, the Frost Maiden in season 2 was kind of a gimmick.
But it's also provided comfort,
I need
a sense of sanctuary. It's as if its origin, though lost in the fervor of the last 3 months, doesn't matter, because it's given you the strength you needed. It's always provided a sense of connection to something that is strong, maybe even stronger than the bonds that you forged with those you've adventured with, your adventuring companions. And as 10 Towns has slowly recovered from the everlasting rime and the return of warmth, oh, that almost forgotten friendly embrace of warmth, there's been another sense, a developing, pervasive entrapment has begun to emerge in your thoughts and
Not have had
daydreams.
that Taco Bell.
Shouldn't have had the sawdust. The peoples and their popularity of you has had a negative effect. Your connectivity to the psychic elements of the world has made this rise in your notoriety a problem. People want to touch you, to shake your hand, to hold some part of this person that is their savior. And although this is all well-intentioned, it has become incredibly draining.
And icky.
And the more you're around these icky masks, the more you need to not. It is challenging to be acceptive, to be thankful in response to what you know is well-intentioned. But being a celebrity is not what you ever signed up for. You wanted to make your life better, not more complicated. To escape this increasingly frequent adulation, you find yourself spending more and more time alone outside the safety of the 10 Towns walls and the safety patrol and the accompaniment of friends. The quiet and the solemnity of the snowy fields is both a proverbial breath of fresh air and a welcome change from the pressures of Novakri's many fanboys. And girls, for that matter.
You can only dissonant whisper once a day.
And fan days. And fan days. I'm not disdaining anyone. One day, while hiking through the tundra, because even with Oral's departure, the snowpack never fully leaves the spine of the world, there is a sound that rushes towards you. A sound of wind and the flapping of great leathery wings. As the force of these movements create gusts that whip your hair and robes into a frenzy, you hear a voice. It's cold. It's harsh. And yet all at once, so familiar. Daughter, you have proven yourself capable of protecting and leading the children of the White. The North is cold and terrible, but its claws have neither blemished nor bruised your potency. In fact, you seem to have bloomed amidst its adversity. It is time for you to take your rightful seat. And Arvia Churches lands before you. Let's show a little visual of this. A little this. The creature's ancient grayed and withered eyes do nothing to hinder its senses as it lands perfectly in front of you. It rears its long, scaled neck around to remove the corpse that sits atop the throne-like saddle on its back. Reverently, it scratches a deep hole with its great claws and inters the remains, the softness that its size seems to make impossible. It inhales as its chest scales shudder, with a power that's about to be unleashed, and its breath seals the newly dug grave with a magical hoarfrost that will not yield to the pressures of the spring and the summer months to come. It stoops its neck to you with a grace that implies familiarity, and you effortlessly climb into the now empty seat. And as the dragon takes off, it is time, finally, for you to go home.
Hell yeah, bitches! I'm a dragon rider. Very nice, Tom.
All right. So I have one more to read. He is not here, but I'm going to read it anyways. And then I'm going to kick it over to a couple questions and whatnot. But before I do that, I need another beer because I just ran out. So I will be right back.
Do you think he's gonna kill him off in the backstory?
That would be
The
fun.
only way that this won't be disappointing is if he does.
Yeah. Nice. I just rolled for Portent if he has any rolls that I can affect if I'm around. And I rolled a nat 1.
Give him a nat 1 and then make him re-roll it.
Right. There.
I
I
don't even
helped.
understand. I'm helping.
Here, he rolled a 20. I give him a 1, but I'm like,
Try again.
here you go.
You're welcome.
That way it's not my fault, it's your fault for rolling that second one.
I didn't realize Tom was brewing the beer.
Yeah.
So. There he is. Maybe.
All right. Back. Sorry about that.
He went to Lonelywood to get some Heroes meat.
Right.
Yeah, I went for the mead brew collaboration because Heroes Mead is an ale mead collab between
Mhm.
you and the Druids, so that's what sold it. Fun fact before I jump into Jux. So I wrote Loki's ending to involve franchising out the Lonelywood Hotel, as well as developing like some kind of beer, and then Dolan submitted her end,
That's
and
funny.
she was like, the beer's called Heroes Mead, and there's the and then there's the 10 Towns like safety patrol or something, and I was like, we are very in sync in thoughts right now. So it was great.
That's funny.
I got a message asking for my email because it's like, hey, there's this, and then I don't think I got an email.
Oh, I sent it to you.
Oh well.
Did it not go through?
Dolan, your future plans for Harvest, I think, are very are great, but I think they were beyond the scope of the end of this story. That's why I only went as far as I did.
Okay.
But
Now I'm seeing it. And yes, there.
You got
are
it?
things.
Okay.
But I've got one more to go through, and that is Jux. And so I will read this just because he has been a part of this party, and then we can get into something else. So.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Chucks is going. Okay.
Yep.
He's going on tour.
Down to the
Jux,
ride.
you've lived your life by your own standards. You've shaped your inner fury, and the alliance is forged by your indomitable will. You've battled gods, eldritch horrors, and your own need to find acceptance. After the fall of Oral and the escape from Yithrin, you've really already begun searching for your next challenge. The home you found here in the north and with the people of Ten Towns is satisfying, but you know it's only momentary. You know that the peace felt is fleeting, and that your inevitable wanderlust will make these comforts fleeting in a short time. And as these thoughts have started to crowd your mind, you find yourself sinking to a state of dismay. As in this state, a voice has started to call to you. But like trying to remember a dream upon waking, it is hard to hear or remember what is being conveyed. Until at last, on one day, like any other, you're sitting in the North Look, enjoying a beverage, when the voice is suddenly clear and focused. Jux! Your pact has consequences! Just as I have given you aid in growing your own power, I must now call upon you and all my champions to aid in my own needs. Fulfill my requests, or face your own withering. Portal, shimmering in hues of amber and gold, appears next to the hearth you're sitting by. And stepping through this gateway is a dark, coated unicorn. Might as well show what that unicorn looks like.
Did he go celestial? Oh wait, no, he was Hexblade, right?
Wait for it. The creature steps through and asks, in a confused voice, "Are you the one named Jux?" Without a word, you stand and walk unblinkingly into your next adventure, leaving those around you confused, alarmed, and perhaps a bit worried about your sudden disappearance. For you, though, a few moments at most pass as you emerge on the other side of this magic portal. And before you stands a massive spider. A spider the size of a small town. In its 4 legs, it holds a massive tome and seems to be reading to a gathered audience of animals, plant creatures, and some winged fae. "Welcome!" its voice booms. "Another joins the ranks of Tailspinner's listeners. Gather so that we might rewrite the growing concerns that threaten the very fabric of the Feywild." And I will show you what Jux's last vision in this adventure is.
And he was never seen again.
He was never, ever seen again. So I slowly draw everybody off the map.
Literally, since the creation of Jux, we've been talking about his demise.
Well, so fun fact. So
And
I
he's
reached
gonna
out
be
to.
protected by a monstrous spider. He's gonna be the one that outlives us all.
All right.
I've told you guys that from the start. This is the guy that will live forever.
But just in like a fairy tale, like it's just like Winnie the Pooh.
So in classic Chris classic Chris fashion, I reached out to him this week because I was like, I had written that ending a while ago because I said, "Chris, what do you see as an ending for Jux?" And his response was, "He's gonna die. I don't care." So I was like, okay. So I'm gonna write like a real like Ryu ending, right? Like already seeking the next quest. He pushes on. So because it's just whatever, it's trope. So let's do it. And so this week I wrote it and I was like, Chris, it occurs to me that we never talked about who your patron is. Like, who is granting you your warlock powers? And he goes, I went cosmic. And so I went, oh. And then I went and looked, and there's no fucking cosmic deities. There's like eldritch ones. There's like, like dark realm ones or far realm ones, but he didn't ever like sort of and like say that like, he was talking all about tentacles or anything. And so I just went, well, fuck it. Let's just make it fun. Let's just go fun with this. And so that's why I was like, I've never put a unicorn in a game. We're going to put a fucking unicorn in here. And then I was like, where would a unicorn go? The Feywild? Cool. And apparently in the Feywild adventure path that came out a little while ago, there's literally a giant spider called the Tail Spinner. And I saw that image and I was like, that's who Jux is going to go talk to now. Boom, done. So, much like a Marvel comic movie, I do have a very final ending scene. But what I wanted to do for the rest of the time that people are interested in hanging out tonight was either doing some Q&A or just talking about some of the stuff that maybe were things that were missed, things that were whatever.
All right, obviously we're going to the magic items. Show me the magic sword.
I knew you wanted to do this, so hold on.
Obviously, we've had this going on for 4 years of me not getting a magic item. I know, so we're going there. First thing, we already know.
Damn it,
and then we can go wherever. I mean, we can talk about other things. I've got plans for the future. Ziada and Harvest have things. I don't know if others are going to get involved. It sounds like not. One's on a dragon. One's with a spider. One's about to be assassinated, but like maybe he could come to us for looking to help. We don't know what's going to happen. But where were the weapons? These alleged weapons?
I know. I do want to say just to that point. I do want to say
in the book.
Hold on. I do want to say two things, and I do have something to read about that because there's a goddamn weapon in this game that I read about when I first read through the whole adventure before I was like, let's do this adventure, that I was dreading you guys getting, and then you never got. And I was like, oh, that is just wasted fear. Great.
All I was thinking is, how am I going to take this away from them?
So I can get into some other stuff in a moment, but what I want to say is that everybody started the game with a secret, with the exception of Chris's last character, because he started both his other characters with a secret, and then they both died with them. We did find out about the Orc Stone, which is now in Ziada's armor and blah, blah, blah. But Zahir, his backstory was that he fled to 10 Towns because he had like an amorous affair with like a lord's mistress or something like that, and that the lord was so upset that he was sending assassins to kill Zahir. And so it's interesting that like it does, it totally does. And so it's interesting that and he rolled for it, which is what made that even more fun. Right. And for Harvest, your backstory with your being connected to this like lords of Neverember lineage, there's so many books in like Forgotten Realms lore about families trying to murder each other to be like the lords of Neverember and to step into these seats of power. And so it was really good. And originally I was going to be like, yeah, this assassin shows up, and then I was like, yeah, but you guys can't figure out who they were going for, or what those weird spiderweb like tattoos could possibly mean. Mm-hmm. But as far as has been requested specifically, weapons and magic items not found and were not picked up. Psi crystals. There were 2 psi crystals in this adventure that would have amplified Novakri's psychic abilities. One of them was in the Tourmaline mine, way back at the beginning, but it was in like this weird creature skull, like this skeletal remain that was in one of the rooms. And Novakri was like, "Fuck that shit! I'm not touching it." And as the DM, I'm like, oh, thank God, I don't have to deal with her being more powerful. Okay. And there was another one later on, with regards to the ship that you guys found that exploded. Remember where you found like the laser rifle and everything? But per the story, there's a clock that starts with the adventurers, that if you don't make it in time, the creatures that are on that ship are like, we can't survive here. No one's going to help us. We're just going to blow ourselves to smithereen. So no one gets our technology. So that was that.
Yeah, that's the only reason we went down there, though, too.
Well, I mean, Novakri was having her headaches and her visions and everything. There was an item called the Summer Star, which was capable of controlling weather in a very small region, not like the Mythlar, but very small. There was a Horn of Blasting, a Wand of Binding, a Cloak of Protection. There was a Cloak of Elvenkind, but I think the things that you probably want to know about was that in Grimscale, the one room you guys didn't go into, the one that led to Oral's throne, which was protected by 2 frost giant skeletons. One of them was wielding a +2 trident. Now,
Wow.
maybe that's not really what you wanted for your character, and I can understand that. But in the Caves of Hunger,
All right. So
where
what one was that?
so when you were in
first one. Sorry.
the +2 trident,
Yes.
so when you guys went and did the tests of Oral, the one where Fizzgig lost an eye, you did the whole hunger thing. There was like somebody had
yeah.
to dive under
So
the
there was
ice.
just a chance, and we just.
Well, you guys
So where was that?
Wait.
That trident?
Wait. I want to explain this. There was a room that looked like a snowflake. You guys did the tests,
Yes.
and then I explained there was a room that somebody made a check and knew there were creatures behind, and there was another room that basically said you'll die if you go in here. And
Yeah.
you guys said, let's go in the room, we're gonna die, and 2 people fucking died. So that's on you.
Oh.
That's I'm just
So it was
saying.
the one in the one room we didn't go in.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, the item that I was most concerned about
What-
for this
where-
entire
what
adventure.
what was that map? If you
This
don't
one.
This
mind.
note?
Yeah, no, I'll bring you back to it.
Because
Hold on.
I'd like to.
That's why I thought this would be fun tonight. So if we do this and we pull this up,
You know, if people don't mind. Oh, that's.
Not at all.
so can you guys see this
Okay,
map?
so-
Actually,
so Tom, yes.
yes.
I'm not seeing anything.
So you see.
so
how
you guys
see
are all at
Grim-
the bottom
oh,
left. You guys are all at the bottom.
I need to. So you can see up where it says Grimscale, right,
Got ya.
Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you see what color it is, and see what color it is now.
I'm not seeing a difference. I'm sorry. Wait, are you doing something by your character or at the top where it says Grimscale?
No, literally Grimscale. Right?
I'm not seeing it. I'm not
Right
seeing
up
it.
here.
Oh, yes.
It was gray, and now it's black.
It's all the same color for me right now. It's not different.
Oh well, you must have your opacity weird for your DM layer.
Hold on. I'm just going through and turning things on. So hold on.
How do you change that? No. Wherever you go. What am I doing? How is this set up? No wonder you have trouble with this. How do you set this up?
Well, hold on. I just remember. We also played this game where the last sessions or so, when every time TJ moved his character, everything got fucked. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say copy. I'm gonna bring you guys up here. Oh, are you opening things up right now? Are you coloring things?
I am in the DM.
So I just dropped a bunch of tokens in the hope that would. But yes,
Yes,
So-
because it's set up. I think. Let's see. Which isn't a bad plan.
But what
Daylight
you just
mode.
highlighted, Kevin, that room, that northern room,
Yep.
there were 2 frost giant skeletons in there, and the 2 frost giant skeletons, one of them was wielding a +2 trident, and then there were some additional magic items. They weren't weapons that were in the cache by the throne room behind them.
Now, are these things that you would have to fight if you went in there?
Yes,
And it was
100%.
one of the tests.
No, this was outside of the tests. I think
Oh,
I don't know who did it, but somebody did a perception check and heard that there
I
were
did.
monsters behind that door, and then the group was like, "Let's not go in there. If we don't have to fucking
Right.
go in there." Exactly. It was like somebody just lost a fucking eye. We're not doing this. So
Nobody lost an
No one
eye.
lost an eye at
I
that
died.
Fizzgig had to cut out one of his eyes.
Oh. And then died.
No one. I mean, no one besides Fizzgig, but no one. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it took me a while to remember who Fizzgig was.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm like, wait, was that one of the NPCs? Oh no, that's the guy who died and then I carried on my back. I don't.
And who
and
turned
then
into Cyclops in a bad
I
way. Yes.
cut the rope that was holding me, and then had to kick him in the face off.
Because you failed your
after trying
deck save.
to,
Yes.
Do this as a sign of respect. Although, I don't know.
That
if-
was
so-
another super dramatic moment, but yes.
So with all that, then I'm gonna go fight 2 frost giant skeletons.
Well, You guys, I don't know
Yeah.
if you remember this or not,
Gross.
but remember they weren't
After
frost
we were
giants.
just
They were
screwing around with the ice methods.
you guys came in here under a time clock,
Yes.
right? You knew
Yeah,
that at
exactly.
some point Oral was going to come back. And so there's a chance you guys could have done this. There was also a chance that like devotees of Oral could have come through to like open the chamber, but luck rolls landed where they did. Just like so the white dragon Averature that came and took Novakri away at the end of this story. That's the white dragons whose treasure hoard you guys found and dug out in the Hoarfrost on the Dark Duchess when you guys went out and fought the ice troll out there, and then you guys had like riches and stuff that you found in there. That treasure, like when you guys dug through each level of that treasure, there was an increasing chance that that dragon was going to come and fucking kill you. And then in my mind, I'm like, because Novakri had written this, or Mike had written this backstory about being connected to a white dragon. I'm like, how is this going to work out? Like, I can't give them access to a white dragon to fight Oral because that's going to be fucking too much. What am I going to do with this? And as luck would have it, you guys rolled perfectly for her perception of you chance every time. Like, just whatever the percentile was, you were below it each time, and it was like, okay, so you get all the stuff that's there and no bad things happen. So it was another moment where like there's been some really lucky shit that's happened in this game. But
After the try, go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
What's-
Some monsters
wh-
over there.
the two frost giants or
Yeah.
frost giant skeletons,
Yes.
yeah, their gaze attack is what's the most
Yup.
deadly. Yep. Yeah. So you
As
guys lucked out
funnel
because
into a room and go, oh,
yeah,
You just
yeah. So when you guys faced a frost giant skeleton when you fought Maud, and that was the episode where Loki came back and had an owl with him. Remember when you fought the hag that was in the ice caves under Easthaven? This is going way back, but do you remember this?
no.
So there's a fight it's where Loki got his night vision that were like frozen in a waterfall, and this water weird tried to fight you guys, but you hit it a bunch of times and it flew back into the water.
I dissonant whispered it away.
That's what it was. Yes. So that
What's this one?
so hold on. I will bring. Let's see if I can bring this back. Easthaven, the Cauldron Caves. Wait, I gotta move you guys to them. Wow, roll 20. You're going through a lot of stuff right now. I don't know why you're being this crazy. Let's hit a refresh real fast. See what happens.
What is this?
All right. Does this bring back memories to anybody?
Sad ones.
Oh, yeah. 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 So you guys
And I think this may have been the last time that we saw this little guy.
no, the last time we saw the owl was when you guys went on to Ongjok, and I pulled the image up that was like just like the stock image of adventurers in Ongjok, and there was an adventurer with an owl, and I was like, Loki, do you still have your owl? And he's like, yeah, I still have my owl. And then that was it. That was the last time we mentioned the owl. So
Kevin, we forgot to pull out the bag of tricks for the final encounter.
I know. Like every once in a while, I would like just have one. It's like
Okay.
I've got a weasel.
before, well, yeah, you guys didn't have to because Dolan in like the final fights was like, I'm gonna summon 18 creatures, and then as they start to die, I'm gonna summon another 18 creatures, and then as they start to die, I'm gonna summon another fucking 18 creatures. I'm like, oh my god. So
Yeah, but then it would have been 19 and 20.
it's fair.
Druids, motherfuckers.
Motherfucker. Anyways, so before I tell you about the item that I'm going to tell you about that was in the Caves of Hunger that you missed, there was one other item. There was one big other item that I wanted for like end game stuff that I want to talk about, and that was called a bag of beans. And I think that somebody in some game that we play in needs to take this item because it's fucking hilarious. Look up bag of beans 5e and tell me that this item isn't. It's like the what is it? What did we just say? What's the gray bag? What is it? The fuzzy bag? What is
Gray
it?
bag of tricks.
Gray bag of tricks. It's like that, but like with a few more steroids thrown in. That like it's amazing. And so you could have found one of those, but you guys didn't. So
I, in that final battle, would have had a badger, a panther, and a giant badger.
You're
So
missing.
I would have
Wait.
one
You're
giant
missing.
badger with a badger on top of it, running
You're
in
missing.
at snowmen to die.
You're missing. You're missing
because they
out.
can't
You
do anything.
also could have summoned
And
the orc
panther,
warrior.
too.
You could have summoned the orc warrior that could
Yeah,
die
no,
3
no.
times.
There
So
was one time where I literally went to I'm like, oh shit, I have to say that on my next turn. And then it took a while and I took my turn and I just attacked Oral, obviously. And just never even said it. It's just like, I'm gonna smite the shit out of this bitch.
So I think that's what you said, and then
I was
you
spending most
could
of
have
my time
summoned an
using
orc
my
warrior.
action just chasing after her because she was running from me.
So, well, she was trying to defeat somebody else. You were the lesser threat.
She was
but,
running from
uh,
me. We
you know
all
what?
saw it.
Read it however you want to read it. That's fine. But
So I read it.
So the weapon that was in the Caves of Hunger, that was where the drow had come from and then retreated back to, was something called Oh, hang on. I want music because I fucking want music. I want some music. So I'm gonna throw on. I don't know what. I'm gonna do this one. I don't know. Is this good? That's great. All right, let's do that. All right. So
Alright, so where was this one?
this one was in the Caves of Hunger. That was the ice caves you had to fight your way through to get to the city of Yithrin. And so where actually I'll pull it. Let's go back to the map. Let's go back. Let's take it to the map. Where's my Caves of Hunger? Caves of Hunger. Caves of Hunger. Boom. This is a giant fucking map, so get ready for everybody to take forever. Let's see if we can shrink it down. There was so many things I had to put on this map for you guys. But if you look, you guys should see, like, if you look at this map, you guys should all be right about here. And then where this weapon is back over here. And Dolan's arcane eye actually saw that.
I'm not seeing anything. It looks like my roll 20 has fucking
Said fucking I'm done with it. Yeah, all right.
yeah. It's just loading, gathering, hatching, gathering, loading, rolling.
Here's what I'm gonna say about this weapon. It's called Vlagomir's Spark. It was described as the arcane eye went by that there was a large to almost huge spear sticking out of the frozen ground in a particular room. The reason why it's so big is because it was a spear that belonged to a frost giant named Vladimir. If you were to walk up and grab Vladimir's spear and pull it out of the frozen creature, Vladimir was frozen solid in the ice below the spear, and you were able to make the physical checks to pull it out, once you have gained the item, you don't even have to attune to it. While holding it, you gain 1 foot of height every hour and become proportionately heavier until you stand 21 feet tall and weigh 7,700 pounds. When you are 9 feet tall, your strength becomes 19, unless it's already higher. For every 3 additional feet of height you gain, your strength increases by 1 to a maximum of 23. Armor and clothing you are wearing and weapons you are carrying magically increase in size to match your growth. If you are the recipient of a greater restoration spell or similar magic, this charm vanishes from you, and you immediately shrink back to your normal size along with any armor, clothing, and weapons in your possession. So, my horror factor with this was first, what if Codswallop finds this? My next horror factor was, what if Hrothgar finds this? And then my third horror factor was, how the fuck am I ever going to kill Ziada if she gets this, has a 10-foot fucking reach and an AC bigger than the deity that you're fighting at the end of this game? So, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to think about how that would even work. Now, I am envisioning something hilarious where, I just was envisioning Ziada having it because she was the one who was alive at that time, and just holding it, and we would just be waiting in the last city that we were in, the floating city, and then just we would have to spend a day just waiting around as I get huge, and I just grow up to be the size of Godzilla. And
my thought, yeah, my
robot movie, and I just sidekick over the tower, and it's just solved.
My thought was that you would grow so huge that if people went into towers, you couldn't go into them. But you could also just kick one of the walls down, and then I'm like, I need to think up what structural integrity dice look like for the building because it's going to collapse and blah blah blah. And so that's why as a DM I'm like, I mean, fuck, if they can get this, I mean, they should get this. And when you guys were like, we're heading to Yithrin, I went, oh, thank God, I don't have to deal with that shit.
I just grab the Charlatan dragon by the tail and just start slamming it against the ground because I'm a fucking humongous beast at that point.
So if you had a strength of 23, the dragon had, I'm curious because I just want to make sure I'm right in this. The dragon had a strength of 24. So I would have allowed you, if it had swooped in and you jumped out from behind a building or off a building or whatever, I would have given you a chance to grapple it because I would have thought you guys are basically on par in size and strength at that point. Yeah. So if you were a medium creature trying to do that, I may have given you disadvantage because of size.
Yeah.
But if you grew to the size of 21 feet tall or whatever it was, and your strength was 1 less than the dragon, fuck yeah, try it out. But I'm also thinking that if Hrothgar, who already had, because of his reach, a 10-foot reach. And then he was huge. Nothing could get by you without him hitting it at least once. And I just was like, I don't want to deal with this. I just don't want to deal with this. And then he died, and I was like, I don't have to deal with this. This is great. And then you took Sentinel, and I went, oh shit. And then you didn't find the spear, and I was like, okay, good. But those were the two like super huge. Those were the two super huge ones.
You'll find them, sort of game.
Was there anything else I want? There was. Oh, I'm sorry. There was also a Berserker axe, which was a +2 great axe that you could have found on a quest you guys didn't go on. But if you took that weapon, it basically drove you insane, and there was a chance you could attack your party members if you were near them. So that one was like the shittiest of the 3 big magic weapons that were out there. I do have to ask two things for clarifying as far as magic weapons go. You guys did find a wand at one point that you realized was of like immense power, but you couldn't figure out what it was. And then you sold it. Do you guys remember this?
I don't remember that. Was I around for that? Or was that before my time?
I don't know if this was pre you or after you.
I feel like it would have been pre. I have no recollection of that.
Loki and Loki and Novakri both tried to identify what it was, realized it was very magic, and realized there was something weird about it. But I don't think you ever fully understood what it was. Does this ring a bell to anybody?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Where'd we get it?
This was like very beginning, right?
It was way back. I think it may have been you found it either in the Elven tomb, like the Crescent Moon tomb where the mummy was, or maybe you found it in like because Harvest, you were there for the caves I just showed you before this, right? Yeah, so it must have been somewhere before that. I don't remember. But it was basically a fake wand of Orcus. And so Orcus is this like...
Oh, yeah, that's what you said. You said it was fake.
Oh, I did tell you guys that? Okay. I couldn't remember if you guys like understood that before you sold it or not. So that was that.
Well, that it was fake.
Yes. Yeah, it was not
that it was actually super powerful.
No, it did have a permanent like light spell on it that you could turn on or off like a flashlight, but it also looked like a wand of Orcus, which if anybody knows what a wand of Orcus looks like or somebody made that check, they'd be like, what the fuck is that? So like you got rid of it.
Sure. Maybe.
I also noticed that very early in the game you guys came across, and I think you got potions of animal friendship. Does somebody still have those?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't remember using them.
Potions.
That's what. Well, I just was like I was just thinking of all the scenarios where maybe that would have, and no one ever was like, "Oh shit!" I looked at my inventory and I have.
In our final battle, 3 people were dead, and nobody still even used our healing potions.
I know. So
I had too many other actions to keep it off it.
It's just so much fun sometimes to go back and look and be like, you guys had a lot of shit in your inventory that you just didn't use. You just never fucking used. So, I have a list in front of me of tasks that were done and tasks that were not done. And I don't want to give too much away about some of them. Not that I think people are going to be like, let's fucking play this game again. But I just want to go over these. So I've got I've got the Bremen Lake Monster, also intro of Dolan. Hey Dolan, thanks. Bryn Shander and the Goblins. That was your very first mission.
Yep.
Kier Koenig, the Unseen. That was one of your first exposures to the... Oh shit, what are they called? The Dwergar. Dugan's Hole, Hold Up. the two kids that had been like stolen by the frost wolves, and then your epic takedown of the fucking mammoth. Like that whole scene should never have happened, but I rolled some percentile die and they said the mammoth had to die. So I mean, that was amazing. The mammoth was at least 3 levels of challenge above where you guys were. That's how ridiculous that was. You had East Haven, Toil and Trouble. That was the Hag's Caves under there. You had Goodmead's Mead of Must Flow. That was Roger and his friends. Lonelywood and the White Moose. Let's all say our farewells to some first level characters. Tourmaline, the Beautiful Mine. You got the Dark Duchess, the Distress Signal, in Sunblight, Griffins, and then Cave of Hunger. Basically, it just ran from there. But what you guys didn't do was, in Caer Dineval, there was this whole thing going on with this faction called the Black Swords. And the Black Swords were effectively humanoids that had been infected by reverence to Levistus, who is one of the lords of hell, and who like is in charge of basically like the frozen layer of hell, and was trying to like exert dominion or control on the material plane. And there was so much shit going on in this game that I just went, if you guys could just not deal with that, that would be great. So I apologize. That was another aspect of this game, but I just chose to not really put that as a big thing or big enthusiasm thing. That's why I had the Thieves Guild say, maybe you should stay away from this kind of thing. Targos, there was the mountain climb where you guys would have fought Yetis. Didn't do that. There was a whole scenario about selling the cauldron of feeding that you brought to the inn that you faced a little bit in Goodmead with like that group that tried to like come in and, you know, overthrow the leadership of Goodmead and whatnot, but didn't face too much of that. There was the Black Cabin, which was was it a gnome? It was a gnome or a halfling that was working with the temple of the Morning Lord, who was out there working on a random item, and that was one of like artifact items. But I think that one of the coolest things that you guys didn't do was Jarlmoot, which remember the kind of like barbarian chick that ran up and slapped Hrothgar's ass and was all about him? So she was a plug for another potential adventure to get involved in. But she was also a plant that was going to try to kill you at some point. And so you guys dodged that bullet, but you also missed out because that's where the Berserker's Axe was. That's where like the Horn of Blasting was. That's where like a bunch of shit was that you guys didn't go explore. So you didn't get it. So that was what it was.
Yeah, no, Jux was in no hurry.
Well, yeah, Jux hadn't even been considered at that point.
Like, nope. Wasn't even thinking about it.
I do want to throw it back real fast and say that it was a great solo effort to get Dolan into the game and caught up to speed with the Cephalic Caltro entry with remember the serial killer with the stunning or striking blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we saw him in, was it just Bryn Shander? No, Targos, right?
So
And
I believe it was in
like,
Targos, yeah, that you and Harvest went to, because you're the only two
well,
that ever went to Targos.
there was also, all right, so then where do we see him? Maybe it was East Haven? Because
So
we as a party saw him, but it might have been, I know it was just like we were in the middle of town. So it's just
so
like,
you got, yeah,
we're
you
not
may
gonna
get
attack right now.
you may have seen him way back at the start. So maybe it was in Bryn Shander or one of the first towns you went to, and I threw it out there as like a plug. You see this guy and you realize it's who what was her name? Her name was. Oh, I don't remember. It was the girl who gave you the not the, but like the female dwarf that gave you the foaming mugs task that you first went to and like fought the goblins. Which, by the way, you may remember that at one point you received a message in Bryn Shander from the head of security in Bryn Shander to have a meeting about goblins, and no one went to talk to him about that because there was another thing that you guys could have gone and done where there was this whole like outpost of goblins that you could have gone and had an interaction with. And you guys didn't do it. And that, I mean, that's fine. Like, that's a sandbox, right? Like, you're never going to do everything in a sandbox. But it was just hysterical to me when I'm like, you guys might do this, so I should prep. Are you not? We're not doing it? Okay, good. I don't have to prep that anymore. Okay, good. But
anything else? Were those the only ones?
so there was Caer Dineval, Targos, Selling the Cauldron, Black Cabin, Yarlmoot, Corticoluk, which was the goblin thing, the Yeti Hunt, the Wolf Tribe Cannibals, which I mentioned in your closing, Ziada.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Revel's End heist. So Revel's End is a prison here in... Actually, let's do this. Let's bring you guys and do this. Where are you? Here. Oh, are you guys still here? Oh yeah, you guys are. So, sorry. So, out here towards the Sea of Moving Ice, out around here, I don't want to be more descriptive than this because of a specific reason. There is a prison that's a lot like, think about like what like the Crows' fortification looked like on the ice wall in Game of Thrones. There was a prison like that, and it is called Revel's End. And it's where like the worst of the worst go to be sent away to be forgotten for a while. Revel's End was one of the ways you guys could have found a person who is willing to take you to Grimscale and the Isle of Frost and to get the Codicil of White. You guys decided instead to go and hang out with Ongjok, who, by the way, just for fun, Ongjok now, if the camera ever zooms over the Sea of Moving Ice, is hanging out with Akuma, who was the giant walrus who had the leather soccer ball.
Yep.
And I feel like Ongjok and Akuma play ice soccer with each other now. I feel that's a good resolution.
One in the same place that we were just talking about, the frost giant skeleton.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was the one that was in the middle. He ended up and just saying like, "Yeah, man, I'll hang out with you and do whatever."
Yeah.
So Revel's End was something you didn't do. By the way, there's a new. I don't know if it's out now or if it's coming soon, but there's also a series. There's going to be a book or it's not an adventure path, but like a book of random adventures that are all heists, and one of them is breaking into Revel's End, and it basically steals everything from this game. So that's why I'm not going into it, just in case we ever use it for something. There was an ability to talk to the Goliaths that lived down in the mountains down around here that nobody did. There was a worm. It was called Worm Doom Crag, where you had to go and fight some ice dragon wormlings. Didn't do that. But yeah, you guys did a lot. There's some stuff that you didn't do, but you did a lot. But I think that you never met Tin Jong, who was a friendly Verbeeg. You'll remember that the Verbeegs were like the ogre giants that you fought way back when, including the one that sang the song about getting laid, and then you guys fought her. But yeah, which I want to find. I want to find just to find that song again. But
So was it just those couple of out of the way weapons?
Yes. So those were literally the only weapons in the entire module that were of like magic or like higher level stuff. And so I did not on purpose try to make you guys feel like you were being diminished, but because there was this kind of horror survival aspect to this game, I wanted to make it tough because it was going to be tough. And so that's why it was tough to find those things. I think if we were running any other campaign, I may have made some other choices, but as it was, like especially with like the whole like defeat of the dragon and getting a reward from that, I felt like what the adventure was so minimalistic that we had to do something about it. And so I tried to give you guys access to things that made you feel more potent, more powerful when I could, knowing full well that this adventure was something that was a grind. And so I hope you guys didn't feel too like overly beaten down by it, but enjoyed the adventure.
I thought it was good.
Oh, and because you guys are... Oh, I'm going to move you back for a sec because I want to share something. Because I thought this was hilarious. So let's stop that. Let's put something else on. Yeah, sure. So this is a fun fact that in the Caves of Hunger, Chris accused me at one point during this game of like introducing Cthulhu-esque elements, and the majority of those were about I was sort of hedging and notating about the Faerûn. But in the Caves of Hunger, there was a creature that looked like this that you never encountered, and it was as much an eldritch horror as anything. Do you guys remember when you were in the room with the dryad and eating your pears that some of you felt this pull or like this like connection to the north that you could go and explore? Yeah, there was an eldritch horror trapped in the ice in this module that was gonna fuck you guys up royally if you went and saw it. And everybody went, that sounds stupid, let's not go do it. And I'm sitting there going, I feel both bad and good about this, but I can say nothing until the end of the game. So yeah, that. And then Harvest and Novakri, do you guys remember when you first went to the Clan of the Bear and you tried to gain access to the camp and there was a dude that was like, no. All right, so the image I'm about to show you is of what the fuck is his name? The leader of the Elk tribe. But the leader of the Elk tribe's name is... Hold on, sorry, I will tell you in a moment. Leader of the Elk tribe is Jarund Elkhard. But I think this is a great image of the dude that stopped you guys. And he was like, no. I just think that's fantastic.
I'm not getting it. I don't have the image.
Yeah. What map do you want?
I brought you guys
Not
back.
this one.
I brought you guys back to the map where, or I thought I did. I brought you guys back to... Oh, no, I didn't. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we were still on the map of 10 towns, but then I brought us to the Caves of Hunger because we were talking about that.
All right. Can you guys see that guy?
Mm-hmm.
I just imagine that's the dude that was like, no, you can't come in. I just think that that's fantastic.
Yeah. He didn't like our magic tricks. Nothing.
he was like, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
fuck
dude.
you.
Yep. And then did you guys see the creature that I was saying was the Eldritch Horror?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, not mad about that.
All right. So yeah, so that's, I mean, so what else we have? So the only other thing that I want to bring up as far as like encounters that you guys didn't have. Oh, two things about encounters. And then if you guys have Q&A, we'll do that, and then I'll throw into the last scene, and then we'll cheers and do whatever. One is that when you were in the second chapter of the book, and you guys were like exploring outside of 10 towns, and you were like going to the Dark Duchess, you going here, and you going there, there was the potential for one deadly encounter that never happened. And that encounter was a frost giant riding a mammoth. And the frost giant was holding a ship's mast as a lance. And that lance did like 126 damage on a crit. And I was like,
Holy shit.
I want to see this happen, but I don't want to see this happen.
Give us some time. Let them cook, and we'll be able to set up a situation where those fuckers just explode.
Oh,
And then we
no,
just
I
go
don't
in for
listen.
the kill.
I'm not saying you can't grind to the level. I'm just saying that, like, at the point of you being 4th or 5th level, a frost giant on a mammoth that could trample you or do 126 damage with a mass lance was like insta kill for you guys. And so you guys never rolled for that. Like, on every time I was like, all right, roll, give me a D percentile, roll the 20, do whatever. And you guys were like, oh, we did this. Or you guys met, like, you know, you met the dwarves one time, you met this one time, you did this one time, but you never got those things. And so, okay, cool. But, and this is one of the things I want to say is that, like, in Yithrin, there is like a 5% chance that you ever meet the Demi-Lich before you go into the Demi-Lich's tower, which also gives the potential that you go into the Demi-Lich's tower when the Demi-Lich isn't there, so you could get access to the Demi-Lich's like stuff. And that never happened because on one of like I think it was like the 4th day you were there, or the 4th time you rolled on the random encounters, somebody rolled like a 95 percentile, and that made the Lich come. And I was like, now we're gonna fast forward to the end. You guys don't get to explore all the random cool shit that's in Yithrin anymore. And there was a lot of magic and cool shit that was there. However, in Eriolithus's study, next to his like spell book, which had a ton of shit in it too, there were a couple things you could find. One was the Staff of Power, and I was like, I'm gonna orchestrate this into the final battle, which you guys did, that we did. The other was he had 2 scrolls. You guys can look these up if you want, but I'm going to tell you specifically about one that you had a chance to get, even though you didn't like get into Eriolithus' study without him knowing. One was called a Scroll of Comet Summoning. Yeah, think of like any game you can cast meteors. That's what that is. And then the other one was Summon a Tarisk. Yes. A CR 30 creature, a monstrosity that's only existent purpose is to destroy. You could have that. And I'm going to tell you right now that if you had played ball with Scriven Scry, that's what he was going to give you as a gift.
Summon a terrorist.
I was going to have him give you the Summon a Tarisk scroll, because if that doesn't sound like something a demon would give someone on the material plane, I don't know what does. Like, what else would sow more chaos than that? So, but as a DM, I also was like, I'm really glad you choose to deal with him, because I don't want to have to play that out. I don't want to figure out if you can avoid the Tarisk as it kills both a god and a Demi-Lich and destroys a city and then destroys all of 10 towns. Let's see what happens.
So I have a couple questions then. Scriven Scry, like, what did he really want us to do? What did he like? What would we have? What deal would have he accepted?
If you guys had accepted to try and search the library with him for at a minimum an entire 24 hours, he would have given that to you as something. But where you guys were like, we have a mission, we have shit we need to do, we're not going to do it, he was like, I'm not going to fucking parlay with you, kind of thing.
Okay. And also at the Elk Tribe, there was that like old shaman lady.
No, that was the bear tribe.
Oh,
Yes.
that was the bear tribe. That's right. That's right. What the fuck was up her ass?
So, do you
Like, why did
like
she have
do,
beef with me?
do you want the actual truth?
Yeah.
All right. So the actual truth is, she had murdered Gunvald's wife through poisoning and childbirth, or poisoning during childbirth, because she wanted Gunvald to take her as a wife. And the fact that you started asking questions that seemed to be leading things towards that way, she was like, fuck you, fuck your face. No, I'm not. Who are you? Like, you're not even part of this tribe. So that's what that was.
Okay. Well, at least there's some answers there. I was like, what
Like,
the fuck?
Yeah, like you did. Like, it wasn't. It like the way that the book writes it is that she is very wary about any outsiders, and the fact that you were asking questions about like dead kids and problems and things like that, she was like, just fuck you, get the fuck out of here. I don't want you to be here at all. But she also had to like try to play it cool. So yeah, that's where that came from.
Yeah, I guess I could have put that together then. Like,
well,
her behavior was sort of suspicious.
I think
I didn't, but I
was going to say, I think I may have had people try to do like a wisdom or intelligence check. And if you failed, like, because it's a reach, right? Like, if you don't know that she's been doing this for years to get her seat, how would you know that as you just walk in the tent, right?
Right, exactly. I'm totally new to the scene.
But yeah. So anybody else? Questions, comments, concerns?
You should have killed Chris more.
I probably should have.
I could have had a weapon made out of his bones or something, and then his next character, I could have had. What else could we have made out of his body? Well, it depends on what he uses, but probably it's gonna be mostly bones, because I imagine it's gonna be like some sort of biological creature.
I think
just have, instead of just the corpse of one of his characters on me, protecting me, making me stronger. I outlive him and I grow.
I outlive him and I take his bits. You could
always just eat his flesh too, and like have it become part of your physical body.
Barbarian. I'm just gonna wear his flesh of his dead character. The fact that it happens to be metal just works out for me. I was gonna do it regardless, but just trying to figure out who we could bring him to.
I don't care what you're thinking. This is what I'm thinking.
Did someone say the goblins? Do you think they would be? They'd probably be bad at it. Who else could we get?
And the wolf. The wolf tribe. Like, are they still currently eating each other?
Yeah.
No, they're not eating each other. They're eating other people.
Oh, okay. I said that they were cannibals, so I thought that meant that they were eating each other.
Well, so here's the thing. For the survivability of cannibals, you don't eat each other. You eat other people, so you can keep being cannibals. Which, by the way, is also why gnolls continue to thrive, because they eat other things besides themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that was once I get more of the tribes under control. That's going to be the next conquest.
I mean, or you can use a tribe that is cannibalistic. That puts a lot of fear into people.
So I would like to do one other quick thing, and then I will go to my last cutscene, and then we can either say whatever we need to say, or we can go from there.
Say what you need to say.
What was the place that we were having someone vote for mayor?
I vote for Loki.
Oh, wait. That's here. Wait. This is some bullshit, but this was I think this was one of the most fun episodes too.
Pass. You failed one.
Hold on. Can you guys Harvest, I don't even know if you're on this map. You weren't here for this. Do you guys see this? Does everybody else see this?
Let's move over. Yeah.
Did I move you guys? I think I moved you guys onto it. Yeah. I moved everybody else over to the meadery. This is where Loki like snuck in the back room and found like the +2 druidic staff of animal control or whatever, and realized maybe I shouldn't grab this because it's really superly controlled. But it's also where we realized that Roger and all the other druids of the meadery are just fucking with people. They're not really controlled by bees or connected to them. They're just casting like druid craft on themselves to make themselves look fucked up. In fact, one of my favorite questions in this whole game was TJ said, "Is Roger really part of this, or did you make him up?" And I was like, "I made all." That was one of my favorite questions of this game. So,
yeah, put more things in adventures. That's what I've learned.
Yeah, it
fill in the blanks.
Yeah, you just tweak it. Like so. Again, like I don't want to reveal too much about what I did and what I. So if anybody ever runs this adventure, and you want to use anything I did, take it and run with it. And if you read the adventure as written and you're like, why the fuck did he do that? Then so be it. But the biggest problem for me in this whole adventure was there was no interconnectivity. So there need like. The person running the game had to start finding ways to start making connections about stuff. And so that's what I mean, I started doing that back in like chapter 2, if not even earlier. So, but bringing you guys back here, and I think everybody can see here, this is the refitted Ramshackle Inn in Lonelywood. For some reason, the bedrooms, which have all been redone, are still in gray. I don't know if you guys can see them or not, but the Ramshackle is up and running. It's got bearskin pelts by the fire and couches. It's got a nice oaken tablecloth, or not tablecloth, table front for like intake of guests. And it is in this scenario that Vaylin motions to Loki, and as she lights up a cigarillo, because fuck it, she's a necromancer, she says, "Hey, come over here, please."
Oh.
Your loss. I got something to offer you, little one.
All right, what's your offer?
And she'll kind of
Is
like
it Professor Scant.
She'll try
Scant
to
on the table.
She'll try to usher you over to like one of like the side rooms or something away from everybody. Will you go with her? In the history of everything, this is pre the like choking dessert letter you got.
Okay.
And so you guys go like adjourn to a side room. Other people are like, just enjoying the fact that for a moment their lives aren't on the line and that the weather's getting better and people are like, "Oh my God, you guys are the greatest." And Vaylin looks at you and says, "Look, I've been with the Arcane Brotherhood for a long time. And maybe too long. There's enough debt around here that I can, make another team to pull me wherever I need to go as long as snows are there. But I got no need to be here to crush in on what you got going on. I know we had some stickiness when it came to items and stuff like that, but I got what I needed to find out. I found Yithrin, and I found the knowledge that was there before it was destroyed. There are questions, sure, but I got what I need. And with that, I think it's only right. It's only to say thanks for having faith in me when I first came to you and gave this whole crockpot quest. Go break into a glacier and fight a god. You all came with me. And you, specifically, have had the most interest in this. So, I think you should take this. And she produces Professor Scant and hands Professor Scant to you.
Wow, I did not see that coming
Right?
at all.
She goes, "Hey, do me a favor."
He wants to get rid of him too.
Loki immediately shanks her.
And she does vampiric touch,
now,
and they just
now that
fuck
he's
each
got
other.
scant in
Yeah.
his hand, that counts.
Uh-huh.
So
She goes,
sneak attack.
"Hey, just do me a favor. Don't tell the rest of them I did it. They don't need to know I'm going. We did good work, and you did good work. And you know what? This asshole in a ball can help you. Good on it." She like exhales a puff of smoke right in your face, and then goes, "Ha! I gotta go brush my teeth. It's gross," and walks away.
I'm gonna work on extracting his knowledge, but not through the usual way.
So some fun facts. Here are the 4 things Professor Scant knows about in detail. Terrasks. He actually knows a lot about terrasks. He knows about vampires. He knows a lot about vampires. He knows about Yithrin, or some things about Yithrin, and he knows about the Netherese. That's what he knows.
Does he know like a permanent enlarge reduce spell?
Oh, I know no actual spells, you minuscule piece of poop, but I'm happy to help you figure that out.
I'm sure Loki has scribed that scroll into his spellbook as well, right?
I do. I just want to make it permanent because for whatever reason I'm hooked on this idea that if I eat Professor Scant, then I get all the powers. So
I mean, you could try to do it. You could try to do it if you want.
I just want to do this safely because I don't want it to be a minute later and then I have an orb in my gut.
I want to safely put an orb in my mouth and digest it so it doesn't be in my gut. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, listen,
I'm not
you
a
do you.
toddler.
I'm not a toddler. I just want to do what a toddler would do. That's all.
Exactly.
I'm gonna have someone who can Heimlich me.
All right. So, you know what? As you sit there contemplating this, and Vaylin kind of goes like, "Also, I'm not paying my tab in this place," and she goes to walk out the door. She walks
also,
out.
I'm not paying my taxes.
Well, that's probably true too. I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna bring us back to a different screen.
But wait, that's our tavern.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Ramshackle. That's the updated Ramshackle. By the way, you're welcome. Updated Ramshackle. Let me click this on. Nope, not that one. I love that song, but that's not it. It's a good song. Before I get into this, I want to just touch on another quick thing about the world of the Frost Maiden. Chocobos are not axe beaks, and axe beaks are not chocobos.
Prove it.
Also, lying at the bottom of the loch, because that's what they call lakes here in the fucked up north, is a dead Chartlan dragon. Its body slowly deteriorating, and turning into fish food. The local knucklehead trout have started to feed on this corpse. And the problem with that is that this corpse is made of Chartlan, an evil Chartlan, even in its smallest essence, taints anything it touches. But the people of 10 Towns are resilient, are creative, are inventive, if nothing else. And where The knucklehead trout may, in fact, be tougher, hardier, and more difficult to chew than they've ever been before. Anglers from all across the realms are starting to pour in, seeking guides and wanting ways to try and catch these devilfish that put up more of a fight than others anywhere else. Loki, not to put too much of a focus on you, you realize, as this starts to build, that in your possession is a hook that always finds its prey. Something garnered very early in your adventuring career here in the North. And perhaps this is yet another inroad to a venture that could be worth multiple fortunes. As we fade away from the ramshackle, or whatever it has been renamed, we find ourselves looking at a hillock. A hillock overlooking fields that lead towards 10 towns. There is a herd of grazing creatures below that bite at the tough grasses, even though more and more of it seems to be coming out as the weather continues to get better. There's two figures that we see sitting on the hillock. One of them immediately recognizes, and that of the one-eyed Vaylin, owl atop her shoulder, perhaps a retinue of undead hanging around her. Maybe pulling her sled. Maybe doing other duties. Next to her is another figure. That of another halfling that we've come to encounter time and time again throughout this adventure. Ronaldo, originally seeking to bring you in on a seance that you all said, fucking go away, we're not going to do it. Maybe that's paraphrasing, but that's basically how the DM
No,
took
that's
it.
pretty much
That
verbatim.
nailed it. That was
Yep.
That was a great impression. That was spot on, the best one of the night so far.
I think you took that off of a transcript.
Right.
Maybe I did. Maybe I did.
He literally just watched that episode.
But as Vaylin, I'm sorry, not as Vaylin, as Ronaldo sits there strumming a chord, a song that maybe you've heard another time. And I need to go back here. Oh my god, there's so much stuff in there that I didn't see before. I'm just going to put it here. A song that maybe we've heard before. But he sits there strumming his keys, or strumming the strings of the lute, and singing softly about freedom and the 10 towns, and about how the world was ice and how people had to stand up and take action. And he sees Vaylin approach, and kind of like sit down. And as Ronaldo sings the end of the song about where 10 Towns is free, free, free. Valen looks at him and says, well, they did pretty good for trainees. Wouldn't you agree? Ronaldo pauses, stops strumming the chords, stops singing, and says, as a soft breeze rustles his curly brown hair, you do know about the trouble brewing to the south. Leadership has already sent me the next concern. How will we contact these recruits if we need them? Valen smiles, an act that causes her eye patch to bend and squeak, the leather of it squeak ever so slightly. And she says, I gave them scant. Ronaldo's mouth drops open. You did what? Valen says, well, not the real scant. She reaches into a pocket and produces the actual professor. As she does so, it speaks, you know, I do not like all of this subterfuge and misdirection. It's not how I am. Valen responds, I know, Scanty. But this way, we can keep an eye on them. And if we need to, call on them when we need them. And the camera pans up slowly to the blue skies that you guys see on the screen in front of you. Away from the elk, away from 10 Towns, away from the Rime, just to the clouds in the sky. And that's the end.
Nice job.
I hope you had fun.
So I assume there's scant evidence that he was switched on us.
Got him.
I couldn't let us go without one more.
I love it. I thought it was great. Yeah. But I hope you guys liked that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was not anything that was terrible or like unfulfilling. So I hope it was good.
Only terrible at moments.
Oh, thanks. Fuck you. But okay.
You made a grind bearable. Let's just put it that way.
I'll take it. I will take it.
Sounds like what
Thank
his
you.
wife says.
Shut up. You're right, though.
I'm on medication for that. Don't worry, it'll stop.
But I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys again, I think adventures should end not with just like a quick good job, you did it, bye. But there should be some lagging thoughts or doubts or concerns or whatever. And I tried to do that in those endings. And I hope that they weren't overstepping. I hope that you enjoyed them. And like I said, I mean, if we were to come back to this, you guys are all level 12 characters that we could try to do something with, if not higher, based upon whatever happened. But I had a lot of fun doing this. When I first read the adventure, I thought, there's a lot of weird shit in here. Let's see how it plays out. I love and we talked about it tonight, I love the aspect that death looms around the corner at any point. Not just because of roles, but because if you choose to take on a task or a quest that is so far beyond your level and you have no way of knowing that's what's going to happen. And I, as much as it killed me that you never did it, but I also respect it for you guys as players, is that nobody here ever retreated. Nobody ever said we have to leave, which is always an option in a role-playing game. We can run away. You guys were always we're going to stick this out, and if everybody dies, we all die. But if some of us survive and we make it through, then that's what happens. And it was crazy. Maybe it was not always the best decision, but you guys made it through to the end, and you beat the game. You beat the game.
That was just Ziada being a zealot.
Yeah, she was like,
She's like,
"Fucking
I'm
do what
not
I
fucking
say! Gonna do what I say!"
Nothing was gonna hurt me. So, and I always had, enough heals to bring you guys back up if need be.
And you know what the
Maybe.
best part is? We never figured out a group name.
Yeah,
That's why I just settled on
Oh.
Heroes of the
it's
North.
always that. It's always just like, what could it even be? I mean, I was going Z Fighters.
Jux's
Ziada
Angels.
zealots.
Jux's Angels. Yeah. Yeah. Well, first it was Codswallop's Angels, then it was Hrothgar's Angels, then it was Jux's Angels. Yeah, so or Fizzgig's Angels, then Jux's Angels. Yeah, some problems. But I listen.
I'm the Lucy Liu character.
Fair enough. That's the best pick in my mind every time. But that said, like I said, I think that I had a lot of fun doing this. I had a lot of fucking like moments where I'm like, I don't know where we're supposed to go next. I hope this makes sense. I hope nobody thinks that they're just like just dwindling out there. I hope that these endings make sense. I hope that like any of these like points I'm dropping make sense. And some of them sound like they did, some of them sound like they didn't. And that's just running a game. But I hope that you guys had fun, because at the end of the day, I read this adventure. I thought it was going to sound like a lot of fun. It was a lot of work, and I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. And that's that. So,
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Tom.
well,
Yeah,
fuck
appreciate it.
you, fuck you all, fuck.
It was a lot of work.
but no, I hope you guys had a blast playing, and that even though like you never got magic, even though like it was a slog, even though it was all these things, it just I when I read this story, I was like, this sounds like something that I want to see if people can play through, and you guys did, and that's a congratulations to you guys. And I was talking to somebody, and I just want to say it too before anything else is, I was talking to somebody that I play a different system with the other night, and I was talking about how we resolved the campaign last week, but like the end all be all was this week to like have some finality to it, and how I was really happy that this could happen, because the last time I ran a campaign to its conclusion, it got so separated by time that the ending felt unfulfilling, right? Like whether it did for the players or not, for me as a DM, it just didn't feel fulfilling. And I wanted to make sure that this game had a different outcome. And he was like, that's what you got to do, right? He's like, I've run campaigns for a couple of years. I just finished up something I did for like 7 years that was a homebrew, and I could only think about like Kevin and the Pirates game, and how fucked up an ending to that like must be for like if Kevin was ever going to plan that. And I was like, you know what, like I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy where this resolved to, and I hope that you guys are too. So.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of fun.
And I like how you wrote songs and sang them to us.
Oh, speaking of which, I want to do this because I found some of like the old songs as I was going through my notes today, just to like prep for tonight, and I thought it would be fun. I'm gonna try to put those together and send them to you guys. Like, there's several songs that were created throughout this that I like wrote the lyrics out to before I sang. And I'm gonna try to remember them. Like, there were 3 songs I have to find. One was the Warrior song that Ronaldo sang at the cave of the Berserkers when you guys were fighting, and gave you guys like the out for that. And then 2 was there was a oh shit, what was it? There was a song that was it was based around like a Seether song that I did that was close to the beginning. There was the ending song that I did that, and then there was one more song. Oh, it was the Verbeek song. I have to find those, and I will send those to you guys. And now that we're done with this game, I actually think I'm gonna like post them to the Frost Maiden Discord, and just be like, anybody running this game, if you just want to have some fun and enjoy using these, have at it. So.
So, speaking of which, do we have any plans for another round? I know you wanted to play a character this time, Tom, and kind of take a break from DMing.
So it's a
Yeah,
good
are we
question.
meeting up next Thursday or no?
So Kevin had thrown out some ideas. I know that Chris isn't here right now, but Chris had thrown out some ideas about doing like a riffs thing. Um, I I'm gonna step back and just be like, you guys do what you want. I like if there's a chance to play, I'll try to come in and play. But honestly, I just want to kind of enjoy my Thursdays for a brief moment and not spend several days prepping for them for a little bit. I know that at some point I'll want to start prepping again, but for now, I just want to have a timeout.
I give it 2 weeks tops.
That might be it. That might be it. It might be it.
So
I did tell Kevin that I did pick up like the Candlekeep mysteries, and I'm like, well, I mean, I could run like a mystery night one night a month or something like that. But at the same rate, I'm like, you know what? Timeout. Just take a timeout.
So yeah, I mean, one of the only issues, it's like, all right, I don't know if I'm ready to learn another system right now. Like, entirely.
You mean in regards to what Chris was saying?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, what about Pathfinder?
Yeah.
Same thing.
I don't have any of the Pathfinder stuff.
Like, I know I can get it and stuff, but
Well, Humble Bundle had a
right.
a huge deal with Pathfinder, and I bought it. I bought it all. And if I didn't suck so much at DMing, I'd volunteer to run the game. But at me doing it is just asking to fail.
I mean, so I have some stuff I can put together based on I mean, I would just be putting whatever together. But the thing that I have is what I was proposing, where it's like you guys can choose a specific group type to start with, and you don't have to, like, you could be a mystic circle or a druids, a noble pact, a nature pact, that's the one, religious order, underworld syndicate, martial regiment, adventuring party, mercantile guild, and like I said, mystic circle. So it's like you guys can choose that, and you don't have to be like, oh, we chose nature pact, so we all have to be druids. Like, you can have like different things, and we figure out from that. And then I'm gonna build something around that. But,
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to interrupt. I just realized something.
oh no, I thought you were reacting, and it's like, oh yeah, what's up?
No. It was no. I like literally was like, oh, my cat was like, oh, jump in here. Okay, that's happening.
So like that's what I was thinking. If we wanted to do that,
I would personally rather continue playing 5e and not learn a new system right now.
yeah,
Fair enough. I'll
do
it.
5e definitely has some difficulties. I mean, I know I get frustrated with them as a player as well, and that's where like I try and balance certain things with it, because I know like going from 4th edition to where it's just like I can have an amazing bluff and I cannot fail this bluff. It's like I'll take a 1, but depending on the situation, it's like, no, I could definitely lie to this bum, even on a 1, because I just rolled a 48. So it doesn't matter what I say. He believed it.
Yeah. Like beyond 20, I'm now doubling and tripling that. So yeah.
Right. So it's something where it's just like, yeah, there was some stuff like that where it's like, oh, that was pretty cool. Like, you really, really felt the whole thing where it's just like, I am uber powerful. My AC is a 28. Good luck hitting that, peasants. Whereas like my AC is an 18. Good luck hitting. Ow. Oh, ow.
And so yeah, no, I hear that.
Peasants for little,
So
but they're killing me.
So I was just I was flipping through just to see if there's anything else. So I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember the letters between Zarduk and his son, Nildar?
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I wrote those. So yeah, I just found those.
Yeah, let's see. My notes on those are thoughts from Dearth. Zardark will kill us all, and Zardark is looking for some sort of crystal bullshit. And then I put Charlton when I figured out what it was.
Son, you and your brothers are the
another
only
one.
ones I can trust. Your mission to deprive these daywalkers of the power under their very noses is paramount. Do not fail me, or the consequences will be dire. May you find success and aid me in making this land forever cold, dark, and ours. And then Nildar's response, Father, we have found another of these. Sorry, I'm not going to. We found another of these robbed fools. The Arcane Brotherhood seems bound and determined to try and cast off the shackles of Oral's winter, but we will prevail. I pray you will tell me what you find out from the witch we last sent you, which, by the way, was Valen. And I hope that this elf will squeal for you equally. I am amassing another collection of shards. And by the way, the elf was Harvest, I think. I think that's what that was, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Yep. I am amassing another collection of shards, and will send it along with this newest prisoner. May the bards forever sing of Zarduk's cruel rule and his throne forged from the heat of a dragon's hatred. Forever in service, Nildar. Which clearly is what a son should always say to his dad, right?
All right.
Forever in service, Dad.
So this is what I had for notes on that. And Care Koenig, invisible jerks, and then I have highlighted to show like the resolution. May have just killed. Also subterfuge for Loki, because I had that on Care Dinaval to stay away from, because there was that going on. And then I have Nildar was son of Boss Duragar. He's dead now. And then I have in quotes, Daddy will save me. He is looking for Charlton. Same old story with these guys.
Do you guys remember when like
that's
he
basically
shrunk
what I
in the
got, too.
chest and he almost got out of the chest, and then somebody did like, I forget, somebody did something to the chest. They were like barbed chest or something, and it made him stuck in there. I forget what it was, but oh. So when you guys did planar shift, and I told you I had stuff and things prepped for everything, I want you to know that I set up a chart, and here are the areas you could have gone to. The Far Realm, which was the lowest possible chance, because that would have resulted in people dying. Arkarim, Genna, the Abyss, Karseri, Pandemonium, Water, Earth, Fire, Air, Isgard, Aberia, Beastlands, Elysium, Bitopia, I don't even know what that is, Mount Celestia, Arcada, Metanarnis, or a Mishap. And I forget who rolled, but you guys rolled Air. And I just, again, sandbox, right? You guys are going to try to planar shift. You don't know where you're going to go. Let's try to figure it out. And I was like, here's a bunch of numbers. Let's figure this out. Whee! So. It's been a good time.
It was pretty cool. Pretty cool, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. It's 11:33. Are there any other questions, concerns, comments? I feel like I'm at work right now. That I can either answer, or is this the official end of the Frost Maiden campaign?
Sounds like official.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, thank you guys for playing. I hope you had fun, and it has been a lot of fun to play this game with you guys. So thank you very much.
Happy St.
Anytime.
Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick.
Happy St. Patty's! Well, I mean 30 minutes, but yeah, happy St. Patty's!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close enough. But yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we can set something up for next week. I know Tom, like you're saying, you won't be here. So
Just taking a break. Just taking a
yeah.
break. That's
No,
all.
I know. We'll
I
see.
can't.
If we want to jump into something, I can. Even if we just want to choose something, and you guys make characters, I can put something together, and then we see where it goes. We can do like a short thing and pass stuff off, or see
Just
what
give
happens.
me, just let me know. Give me a
Yeah.
holler.
Exactly.
I-
I'm down for whatever. Just let me know.
I think as just as a final question, was anybody disappointed with their ending, or was it okay? That's the last question I have.
No, that was the
I'm
best part.
riding a dragon.
I'm riding a dragon.
Don't care. Have dragon.
Yeah. I've got stuff to do with my tribe. That was the whole point.
No disappointment with your grind.
Right. Got work to do.
All right. Well, in that case, you guys rock. Thank you for playing, and I can't wait to play with you all again. All right.
Awesome.
Always.
Ditto.
Sounds good.
Later.
Good night.
Later, guys. I can't do next week, but I can do the week starting after, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Sounds good.
I mean,
Yeah.
depending on what's going on, I'll send out a text, and then we'll see what's going on. Do I have your number, Jen?
Probably not. You should take that.
That'd be more helpful for a text.
Mm-hmm. You
What
ready?
level are you
Yes.
thinking of?
203 954
954
5415.
5415.
So just let me know so I could roll something up.
Yeah. I don't know. Five's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of time as it is anyway. So to learn a new system, to get
Right.
new material.
Like even with it, it's like they can send it, and it's like that's cool. And as much as I mean, I go through, I use D&D Beyond and everything to check all of the rules. But when I was learning it, it was helpful with the book.
Yeah, for sure.
I
I
mean-
definitely prefer the books.
Maybe I mean, don't get me wrong. Now that I know it, I love just being able to go to the sources. Now that I've figured out how the hell D&D Beyond works, and it's just like, where would I find this?
Yeah.
Jesus, why can't I just find some of these things? They seem like easy to find, but it's like, sources or tools, and it's like, where are the monsters? It's like, okay.
Exactly.
But-
And like on my books, like I have shit highlighted. I have like post-it tabs. I have all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I know there's only so much you can do with 5th edition, where it's like some of the characters you can only you can't go too crazy off in this one path, because it's
Yeah.
like, no, you just chose a ranger and you get
Mhm.
one of whatever, it's 7 or 8 at this point now with so many different things, but it's like,
Yeah.
how really different are they? Because the ranger is still very ranger. I mean, some of them, don't get me wrong, warlock is either eldritch blast or you have a
Right.
sword and shield.
Yeah.
Those are the
Yeah.
2 options.
Mm-hmm.
But with
For sure.
mine's a fairy, a fey blast. Oh, mine's a Cthulhu blast. It's like, all right, well, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Eldritch
Sure.
blast, either way.
Yeah.
And they're both force.
Exactly. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have yet? Nope, no one does. Exactly. So, full damage, please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I mean that is absolutely one of the reasons why I really like 3.5. You could superpower your shit.
Yeah.
And you could really target a direction and just stack and just keep stacking. But there is there's a lot to learn with 3.5, and there's a lot of different like nuances, a lot of experimentation, blah blah blah. 5e is
Right.
it's just a little bit more story focused, and it's just about having these characters go on adventures and not making that crazy superpower build.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's like built that way as a
Yeah,
main system.
exactly.
And one of the things, I mean, you're supposed to feel much stronger at 20, and like we've played some stuff, and it's like, yeah, you kind of do. Like the higher level, you definitely feel more powerful, but it's not like you have a +8 strength all the time.
Right.
It's like, no, you have 5, and that's it. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what? Why? What? It's like, no, 24 wisdom. You can't get smarter. Like,
I mean, but that's where magic items come in nifty,
yeah.
right? And different weaponry and whatever. Of course, we can only attune to 3 different things, but
like
still.
things can be like touched upon and have different things with them where it's like they really have a lot to them. I mean, I like to power up everyone so they can do stuff, but then throw stuff at them that's still going to be a challenge. But it's just like, yeah, but you guys are badass now. Sometimes it's just literally a slaughter. Sometimes it's like, ooh, this is rough.
Yeah, I mean, and I have experienced in 5e that druids are pretty fucking beastly. Like with the shit that they can do, I feel like they can very quickly become overpowered, more
Very
so
broken.
than any other class in 5e.
Yeah. Like moon druids,
Yeah, exactly.
even at smaller levels, but then by 20, I'm pretty sure that they just give you like infinite health, essentially. Because
Pretty much.
you can just wild shape all the time. You
Mm-hmm.
can just wild shape all the time into
You
an
could wild
elemental.
shape,
There's like
elemental shape,
hundreds.
and cast your spells while in wild
Right.
shape.
As
So
long
it's
as you
like,
don't fight someone who has moonbeam.
right, exactly.
Oh,
So,
yeah, this vampire definitely knows Moonbeam. So does this fairy, and so does everyone. This human, this
Yes.
commoner knows Moonbeam.
mhm.
I
You
didn't. I
bully.
don't think I sent you the there was a meme I saw on D&D, the subreddit, and it was something where it's like normal people when they see a sparrow, and it's just like, oh look, a sparrow, and it's just like the guards in my DM's game that controlled by my DM. It's like, oh my god, a sparrow! This is
Mhm.
war. I've never seen anything so horrifying. And it's just like, kill it, kill it.
Mhm.
And it's like, yeah, that I've been there on some of those.
Mhm.
It's like, why? Okay, I guess just
I mean,
all characters are
literally,
assholes.
our last battle, I was in wild shape pretty much the whole time until that creature was killed, and then I had all of my spells left, which is why I like the mass cure wounds. Tom was like, "You still have a fucking 6 level spell?" Yeah, I didn't use any of my spell slots.
Right. Like we didn't even.
Like my beast form, I am doing magical attacks. All of my attacks are considered magical in beast form. So
Right.
it's like I just have hit points on hit points on hit points. I can keep going.
Yeah. Normal people when they see a sparrow, huh? Cool bird. My DM's town guards when they see a sparrow. Oh my god, it's a national security threat. We need to get rid of this thing immediately. Time to die, you seed-eating bastard with a flamethrower. It's just like, oh, excellent.
And I started reading up on that class more for the game that you ran on Saturday, Kevin. And the Drake eventually gets bigger over time,
Oh Jesus.
like as you level up. So what I wanted it to be, eventually you get that, but at where it is now, is it's not supposed to be able to be mounted. and it's only a small creature. But then when you reach like level 7, it grows wings and becomes medium. But if you're riding it, it can't fly.
Oh,
It says
okay.
that like specifically. Until level like 15, where it becomes large and you can ride on it and you don't impede it from flying. So you just get like a free mount by that level that you can fly around on, which I thought was pretty cool.
What level are we? For
We're
you?
level, well, we were level 5 in that.
Oh,
So it
okay.
was like we were 2 away from it being able to be a mount
Yeah.
and stuff, but yeah.
Well,
So they do allow it eventually. Because when
yeah.
I was saying like, oh my god, it's such a cool concept, but why is this executed poorly? And it's like, oh, it's just we're a low level.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate.
Well, I'm happy that I got to test out that build and
Yeah.
actually see how it would be and have it be fun, you know?
Yeah. Because they definitely would have allowed that to just roll. Because it's like it was one of those things where it's like, oh, I mean that, you know, it's a little. I mean, just based on level, it's like I'm giving you 2 levels, but you know, whatever.
Yeah,
Who cares?
called it
How
an
big
item.
really is that of a difference? I mean, you're just running a little further. You're a monk. All right, got it.
Yeah, I have 15 more movement speed because I went with halfling at the last second because I found that picture of Drake. That was my character at all. I found the short Drake picture, and I was like, yes,
It's like
that's
there we go. I understand.
switching to halfling now was meant to be.
That is me.
Uh, yeah. And Loki had a shit ton of items too. Like I had like
Yeah.
all the items.
Do you have a bag of holding?
I had that.
Mm,
Oh, you had that.
We have Remoraz eggs that I assume I've got the barbarians. There we go. We're finishing that sentence. The barbarians are like helping to get those going and raise them. Those will be good to have. Some Remorazes. Because we had like 4. Where's my character? But yeah, so we had 4 Remoraz eggs, which were 100 pounds.
Holy shit.
And
Each?
25 to 60. So
Oh, okay.
100 pounds total, and then it was just like they could be. So those got popped in the bag of holding, which had, 358 out of 500 pounds. I was holding the alchemy jug, which,
You were like holding it,
yeah,
like in
just
your
had it.
arms.
No,
Oh, in the bag.
there would just be a trail of mayonnaise.
Right. I'm like, what? Like, how do you fucking shield bash and like hack and slash if you're holding a bucket of mayonnaise?
Right. Under the arm, like a bagpipe. Just squirting
just
mayonnaise.
just
I
in 1 foot.
yeah,
1 foot is in it.
I'm imagining it like under kind of my bicep and where my body is, and it's just like if you're trying to squeeze like your armpit to make a fart noise or something. It's
Uh-huh.
just in between there, so it's just like squeeze, and mayonnaise just pops out, and it's just like haha. Sometimes vinegar maybe. Does it have
Nice.
like a garlic powder when we fight vampires? That would have been
Mhm.
helpful.
Horseradish mayonnaise when we had some roast beef at hand.
Right. I'm sure there were plenty of times where we could have had that available. I'm sure that's probably what was happening. Just like, just switch off. We got beer, honey, mayonnaise, oil, vinegar,
Exactly. Never
water.
in need of condiments.
Right. It's just a matter of like, okay, but you have to like hang on to the honey, because I can make a ton of it, but we have to preserve it. So just and I assume those are just also in the bag of holding, just these big jars. Just like fill it with beer and then just pop it in the bag of holding. It's like, we'll get those later.
Turn the honey into mead. We practically had a brewery in the bag anyway.
Yeah. I mean, start off with that. Beer and wine. Just start saving it up. And then we've got, a stockpile. We're only going to be able to refresh it so often, so we can't rely on that, but that'd get us started.
We're going to need more bags of holding.
Yeah. Well, more alchemy jugs is really the main thing. Because, like, a gallon of wine is nice, but that's only once a day. So, I believe. Yeah, next dawn. 4 gallons of beer, that's good, but that'll be gone quickly. That can't sustain a bar. But if we get 40 of these things.
Jesus.
Like where your head's at.
Yeah, that's gonna be our bar theme. Different alchemy jugs. People have to just like pay and then guess which one they're gonna put their pint in, and a pint will come out either full of mayonnaise or vinegar or ale.
I mean, we could just like specify which, but I do like that. We
No,
pay,
I like it
pay
random.
for like,
Pick your poison.
yeah, pay for like a mystery. I mean, we wouldn't have basic poison or acid all in there.
No.
Even though those are options, but like.
Well, maybe Loki would.
Right. Well, that's
see
when
how
he
he's
invites
going.
certain guests.
Right. Exactly.
Fed him something, where it's just
Right.
like, oh, a peace offering. It's like, please come down. Oh, check out our new attraction. Does that hurt? That's the acid burning your throat. This is the knife entering your lung.
Like the assassin's teapot type thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. 100%. That's great.
So that's Loki's new thing, the Assassin's Teapot.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was part of the Thieves Guild, so he has to create a new one. But he's just gonna start killing. It's like, you guys want to poison me?
Tom potentially, almost could have potentially killed Loki tonight. I wasn't expecting that. If you didn't make your con save,
right?
Yeah.
It would have been low. I would have used so many luckies. All of the luckies.
2, 3, 4.
All of the luckies.
I swear. I still think it's Scoot. A little bastard. Just because I think my intelligence was, it was like an 11, so I definitely think it's him.
Why?
Now back to this letter. I don't know. It was just because the intelligence. It wasn't bad. Right.
What was yours? Yours was the Zentarum or something?
Yeah.
Black Network controlled by Black Bishop. That's in the lower left. This man. That was down.
All right, guys. I'm taking off. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Later.
All right, cool. Later.